The usual?
Nah. Look, I don't really know how...
Take a look at this moment from Whiplash.
I see you in here a lot, and I think that you're really pretty, and would you want to go out with me? Ever?
And compare it with
When I
this.
did see you, you treat me like shit because I'm just some girl who doesn't know what she wants, and you have a path, and you're going to be great, and I'm going to be forgotten, and therefore you won't be able to give me the time of day because you have bigger things to pursue.
That's exactly my point.
What do you notice about each of them, and more specifically, how do they differ? The difference I want to look at is in Andrew himself in both of these scenes, because I think the way he acts here reveals a key theme of Whiplash that I don't think gets talked about nearly enough. So, welcome to Over Essay Films, and probably the 87th video you've seen on Whiplash. What drives Andrew? What pushes him to destroy himself for his goals, and how does that tie into his relationship with Fletcher? Well, let's go back to those scenes, and the key difference in Andrew's behavior is pretty clear. He's not exactly wrong in anything that he says, but he also feels so emotionless and apathetic that it reveals so much about his character. And it highlights the way that he's fueled by something that constantly evolves throughout the film. His insecurity. That's the aspect of the film I want to explore, and how it really manifests in every action these two characters make, and how complex that emotion actually is for them. So one of the things I noticed while reading the officially published script for the film is just how much it differs from the final product, and the fact that it's honestly just not nearly as good. The script obviously has all the brilliance that fuels the story, but the overall structure and scene placement is something that was heavily changed for the film. A lot of scenes were cut, and I think it ultimately works so much better. Andrew as a character feels fundamentally different in the script, mainly in the beginning. There's a scene where he talks to his teacher and is basically told that he's not cut out for drumming. The scene didn't make it into the film, and I think for good reason. A general idea that's in the beginning of the script is Andrew as this quiet, unsure, and untalented player. Multiple scenes in the beginning highlight this, like the conversation with his teacher, but also a conversation he has with Fletcher right after. He's not incredibly confident at the beginning of the film either, but he's never portrayed as untalented or as honestly wimpy as he is in the script. The film makes him someone who knows he has what it takes to be great. He's not arrogant, not quite yet.
Yeah, like hell, he's playing my part.
But he's still somewhat sure of his ability. This is important because it makes his journey over the course of the film differ from the one in the script. And a lot of this comes down to the overall structure. The scene placement and which moments happen before or after others adds an entire layer to the film that wasn't there, or at least wasn't nearly as strong in the script. For example, in the script, the first scene that we looked at with Nicole happens right after Andrew has had this conversation with his teacher. He makes the choice to transfer schools and quit drumming. But in the film, the scene happens after he's hired for studio band by Fletcher.
No, other drums.
And this distinction marks an integral change to the film. When things go well for Andrew's drumming, it increases his confidence in a healthy way. He's accepted by Fletcher, and in the next scene has the confidence to go and ask out Nicole. That's all well and good and pretty simple, but on the flip side, we get the scene where he breaks up with her. We've looked at how his behavior specifically changes in the two scenes, but like before, what's worth noting here is what scene comes before this. In the film, it's the scene where Fletcher brings in Ryan Connolly.
Am I late?
And we know where that leads. But more importantly for this breakup scene, it highlights an essential characteristic of Andrew. Andrew can be a pretty shitty person.
That shit?
Now, the film makes no secret of this, but it's the way he lashes out whenever his pride is threatened that reveals so much about the character. More than anything, Andrew wants to feel like he's good enough. That no matter where he may be, he has what it takes to be one of the greats.
I earned that part!
So when Fletcher, a man whose approval he desperately seeks, brings in someone else, someone he knows, in order to play his part, we start to see this version of Andrew.
F off, Johnny Utah! Turn my pages!
This exemplifies the character's insecurity and everything he needs to not be true. Whenever his pride and security is threatened, his innate defense is to lash out. And because of that, he lashes out in an overblown and overcompensating form of confidence. That manifests itself in arrogance and unlikability.
Okay, look, why don't you just tell Fletcher that I'm coming, you motherfucker!
But when his confidence increases through successes in his drumming life, he takes it like a normal person would. He has more assurance and confidence in himself. The script doesn't quite have this because the order of the scenes is different and there's so much in the beginning of the script that's not in the film. And I don't think any scene illustrates all of this better than the dinner scene, which may be the best scene in the film. Before the scene, Andrew had just been made core drummer. So when he's asked about his drumming, he responds with decent enthusiasm, at least for him.
Yeah, it's going really well.
But then the scene takes a turn. As all the attention and acclaim goes to the brothers, Andrew's left feeling invalidated. It's not purposeful antagonism from the family, but it's clear they don't respect or value his achievements in the same way they do with the other two. And because of that, we get this.
Carlton football, it's not even Division 2, it's Division 3.
Andrew's family is not trying to hurt him, but they very clearly don't understand him and feed into his insecurity. And this causes him to find validation in the one place he can, no matter how toxic it may be. I think Andrew cares for people like his father and Nicole, but in a way he also looks down on them. His dad had those dreams, but now just teaches at a high school. But he's also healthy, surrounded by his friends and family, and has true love for his son. This is also a really strong contrast with Fletcher that I've never seen brought up. Both Andrew's father and Fletcher had dreams of greatness, and both failed. But where his father found new meaning in friends and family, Fletcher's single-minded determination caused him to morph into something else entirely. And we know which one Andrew chooses. Drumming externalizes all of Andrew's struggles when it comes to this. Him pushing himself isn't just a sign of his ambition, it's a sign of his desperation. His desperation to not have to go through anything like that dinner ever again. He can't move past his insecurity because it manifests itself in the most unhealthy ways when he feels a lack of validation. And he can't find true, healthy confidence because the one person who actually understands him and gives him the validation he needs is this guy.
Get the f*** out of my sight before I demolish you.
Fletcher himself is a really interesting look at this as well. While we don't follow him as personally, he very clearly sees himself in Andrew. At a time, he probably was the insecure but talented kid just like he was. Only unlike Andrew, he never made it because he never had someone like him. Fletcher pushing his students so much is to make up for that failure in his own life. And I think all of this is what makes Andrew such a compelling character. He's such an interesting blend of different ideas being torn apart by so many different people and things in his life. The want to connect to others opposed by the fact that the one person who understands him is Fletcher. He's insecure opposed by the fact that he's also arrogant and egotistical. He cares about the people around him opposed by the fact that he sees himself as above them. The ending of the film leaves a lot up for interpretation, even in regards to whether or not it's happy or sad. On the one hand, both characters get what they want, and Andrew knows the sacrifices that come with that. But where the tragedy starts is the fact that Andrew never grows beyond his insecurity. He may get what he wants in the end, but the toxic nature of his journey never fades because it's built on such unhealthy needs for approval and validation. And the only place he finds it is here.
I can still f***ing see you, Mini-Me!